Hey, what's up everybody? Today what I wanted to do was take some time and show you exactly how to recreate some of the movements and exercises that you would do at the gym here on the Bowflex. I've mentioned it several times in some of my getting started videos for Bowflex, which I just said, look, recreate the same movements you would do at the gym and do them here on the Bowflex. It's an easy way to get started, but you might be in a situation where you're like, look man, I bought my Bowflex because I don't go to the gym. So I don't know what you're talking about. So I thought it'd be just a good idea to go through some of the most basic movements that somebody would do at the gym and show you exactly how to accomplish them here to help you get started in getting some use out of your Bowflex. Do me a favor though, as usual, if you find this video to be helpful, please hit like on it and maybe even to subscribe. I do these types of videos and other health and fitness several times a week, especially Bowflex. I got an entire series of Bowflex videos. I'll put a card up right here so you can check those out, and also another one at the end. So we're just gonna go over basic movements, not all the basic movements, but I'm gonna hit on several of them here that'll give you a good start on getting some use out of your machine. So let's start very easy. The one thing everybody tends to know is biceps, right? Right here, and doing bicep curls. Very easy to recreate on your Bowflex. So what we're gonna do is we wanna take the handles that look like this. These are just sort of basic handles, and we're gonna attach them here on this lower bar, and I'm gonna show you a couple of variations that we can do there. So, like all bicep movements are essentially taking something that's far away from our body, we're pulling it towards our body, sort of in this motion to contract this muscle right here. So, what I would typically do here is standing or sitting, either way, I would face the back pillar or whatever you call this here, and you're gonna grab these handles just like this, right? And we're gonna pull them towards our body. Basic Bowflex or basic bicep movement. Now there's a few things you can do with this to mix it up. You can change the angle of the movement. So maybe you move these in here for more of a closer in type of movement versus an out here. Both of them get a good pump there. You may also do something like this. Take these handles and move them up top. This is gonna be a little bit of a different movement, but the same idea, which is taking something far away and moving it towards us. So we're gonna do something like this, right? And we're gonna take it back towards us just like this. Takes a little bit more core work, stability in the middle, but it's another option. Now, you can also do something like turning away from the machine. If my handles were down here low again, I could do something like this, right? So, all you really need for bicep curls is this type of handle, and just play around with where you want to position them, different places. That's how you do basic bicep curls that you would do at the gym, but here on your Bowflex. Okay, let's now talk about the tricep part of the arm. Typically triceps, when you're gonna work them out, you're pushing something away from your body. Biceps was towards, triceps is gonna be away or oftentimes down. Now, usually whenever I do triceps, I don't use the two hooks at the same time. I typically just pick one side of the machine and just do something off of this resistance here. A couple of tools that I use for this, and I'll put a link in the description down below to Amazon on all of this stuff here. That way, in case you need something, you can get to it quite easily. So here is a two-sided tricep push down or pull down. Here's a single arm, so just for more isolated movements. And then this is actually a preacher curl bar that typically you'd be doing some bicep stuff with, but it's actually really nice on here for triceps. Let me show you real quick. Let's actually start though with the two-sided push down rope. So something like this is you just take it. Again, we're gonna be recreating the same movements we would do at the gym on a similar type of machine. So we're just going down and pulling these apart. If you can see there at the bottom, pulling them apart from each other, spreading the two sides out, and just really kind of squeezing on the triceps. Now that is a two-sided. If you want to get a little bit fancy and do a single arm, one at a time, to concentrate on giving each arm a little bit of attention on its own, something like this, a single arm rope, same type of deal. You're just concentrating one arm at a time, and then you would switch. And then the last thing here is the preacher curl bar. Hook this up here. We're gonna hold on to it just like this. I'm gonna kind of bring the elbows into the body, and we're just gonna push down like this. Now, something to mention about this though, gotta be careful. When you're doing one side of the machine, you don't wanna stand at an angle like this, where I am sideways on it, because if I pull on it, and if I have very much resistance, it's actually gonna cause the machine to tip over towards me. So I don't wanna do it from this direction. You always wanna do, if you're using just one side, do it from the front of the machine and facing backwards. That way, whenever you pull on it, it's actually bringing the resistance this way. Really no chance of tipping it over. So just a heads up. But that's just your basic tricep movements. So we're gonna talk now about the chest, and specifically, we're gonna start off with a bench press. Of course, a bench press, you'll see people at the gym laying flat, typically on a bench, and pushing a bar straight away from their chest area, right? Well, the way the Bowflexes are set up, they've got all these slanted back seats, so that you can't really lay flat. But that doesn't mean you can't recreate that same type of movement. You just have to pay attention to the angle that your arms are gonna be pushing when you're doing an exercise. So for example, before I grab the handles, if I sit back like this, if I was gonna do a similar type of bench press, I would push straight away from my body, just as a normal bench press would if I was laying flat. You can see here I'm going at basically straight out. It's an angle, technically, but because of the way that my body is also angled, I'm going straight away from my body. This recreates a standard bench press. Additionally, if you change the angles of your arms and the way that you're pushing, it also changes the type of bench press you're doing. So at the gym, you might commonly see somebody doing what they would call an incline or decline bench press. So an incline means you're probably sitting on a bar like this, but then you're actually pushing it up instead of away from your body, right? So like this, and we can totally do that. It's already set up for that on the Bowflex. And then also a decline is usually you'll see somebody with their head down towards the ground and their feet up. So they're at a decline and they are pushing towards the sky upside down. So basically they're pushing down towards their feet and they're upside down. We can do something similar to that too, which is we're gonna take those same handles and push down towards our feet. So we have actually 3 different types of bench presses. Let's actually show you how that works. It doesn't matter which of the holes you put the handles on. In fact, you can play around with them, change them up for some different angles, different types of workouts. But let's do a quick bench press, a quick incline, and then a quick decline. And that's how you would do a standard bench press. One other type of exercise you'll see commonly is a pec deck, which is a machine people sit on and they squeeze their chest together. We can do something similar like this. And that's how you do some easy chest workouts on your Bowflex. Now let's work down just a little bit. Let's talk about our shoulders and even our lats and our traps here, kind of in this general area is what we're gonna work now. And again, basic movements. I'm actually gonna use the same tools that I just used for triceps, but I'm gonna hook up this, this preacher curl bar here. And so a lot of people, when they're doing traps, lats, anything sort of back related, there's a lot of raises. There's a lot of push downs and a lot of like lateral side raises, right? So we're just gonna talk about raises right now. Same type of thing. I wanna stand facing this way. And instead of triceps, I was here and pushing down. Instead, we're gonna actually extend our arms this way so that our back and our shoulders are really kind of extended. And we're just going to do something like this. It's a basic push down that's really good for your lats. So we're gonna do that with the preacher curl bar. Same type of movement with the 2-sided tricep push down rope. Same type of thing where we're just gonna take it. And one of the things I actually like about the tricep push down rope for this type of back workout is once you get it down here by your sides and you pull these apart, you can actually sort of wrap it around your waist and actually get a little bit more extension on it. So a little bit tighter on your back. And really it's just a nice back workout. Now for raises, well, push downs, we were starting from the top. For raises, we're gonna go to the bottom. And we're gonna go with something probably more like a single handle here. And I'm actually gonna lower the weight just a little bit. Now, same type of thing we talked about before. Whenever I am doing one side, I want the resistance to be going that way to the front of the machine, not to the side to keep it from tilting over. I'm just gonna get real close here to the pulley system. Same type of movement that I would do at the gym, which is a lateral raise, which is straight out to the side. It's great here, I can feel it on the front of my shoulder. I can feel it in my traps, I can feel it in my lats. And then what I do is I would just take this and actually probably switch sides and do the other arm. This is a great workout for your upper back and really just a couple of tools to help you get that done. Okay, now we're working our way down towards the middle of the body, but I am not gonna talk about core today. One of the things, if you've watched some of my other Bowflex videos, is that I do not like the Bowflex machines for core workouts. You can get a much better workout simply hitting the floor, doing crunches, sit-ups, side raises, whatever it is you wanna do. The Bowflex is not really well set up for core workouts, so I'm not gonna touch on that today. Do those on the floor, do it away from the machine. Let's go ahead and though go down to a little bit lower back now, and then we'll talk about the legs here in a second. Okay, the lower back area is a little bit tough because this gets worked out by a lot of different other types of workouts. It's, you know, if you do squats, you're getting a little bit of workout back there. If you're doing different types of leg workouts, you're getting a workout right here. But I want to actually talk about a specific movement that targets the lower back instead of it being sort of a secondary thought. So let me show you how that works. Okay, this is a belt that I use with my Bowflex for a lot of lower body work. You can see here it's just kind of got some padding in the middle and each side has several hooks. This is what we will actually attach to the machine itself. And so we're gonna use this a lot, starting about right here on the body and working our way down, talking about lower back right now. So what I wanna do is, I wanna recreate this motion that I would do at the gym. A little bit of pushback, right? So it's something like this. This is a crunch if I go forward, but for lower back, I would normally sit on a machine at the gym that would force me to push backwards on it, working this part out here. So in order to do that, I need to create some resistance that I'm going to be pushing against. So resistance here, pushing against it. I'm gonna sit down to do this. Now, when you're using this particular belt, I'll also link to this in the description down below. It's gonna go something like this around my back, and then I'll actually attach it. If I get rid of this handle here, I'm actually gonna attach it here on this hoop, clip, whatever you call it. All right, once it's attached to that, I put it up around the top of my back just like this. I scoot back a little bit, and then there is my resistance. You can see the rods are bending down, and I'm just leaning forward and I'm pushing back against the resistance. This is targeting right here on my lower back, and it's a really nice, this is a great tool for a workout that targets your lower back. And it's pretty comfortable on your shoulders as well. So just a nice push back there. Again, just recreating a basic movement that I would do at the gym. Okay, now legs is something that a lot of people are struggling to figure out how to do with a Bowflex, and depending on your model, you might have different options to you. For example, my model, it's an older one. I can actually lift this whole thing up and it moves the bench out of the way, which allows me to do a certain type of squat for my legs. If you have something that's more like this, where it's not gonna be able to be moved, there's a lot of models that actually look like this. You know, something along these lines here. Well, if this isn't able to be moved, that's a little bit tough to try to figure out how to do squats or how to do something with your legs. I'm gonna show you how to work around that. We're gonna be using the same type of belt that we were using just now for the lower back, and we're gonna put it around our bodies, and then we're just gonna use the resistance from the band, and we're gonna stand up with it. And then we're gonna sit down with it and stand up. Let me show you how this works. So I'm gonna bring this around my back, and it's just like that. I'm going down into a seated position, and you can see that the rods on the side are bending. I've got a really light weight right now, but you put enough resistance on there and you're gonna notice. And you can even move your legs a little bit farther back, and you don't even have to sit down all the way. You can see my butt is barely touching it, but it's not resting. And this recreates the squat movement, which of course is great for your hammies, your quads, your butt cheeks, and your lower back. Okay, let's now talk about one final movement, which is a calf raise. Let's get some workouts going on our calves. We're gonna be using the same belt, the same type of motion. I'm gonna be facing obviously the back here. This is around my shoulders, and all I'm gonna do is I'm pushing up and raising my body with my calves. Now, obviously, if you change the resistance level on the bands, it makes this harder. It's like having weights placed across your shoulders, causing it to be harder and giving you more resistance when pushing up with your calves. Very basic, but it gets the job done. That's all I've got for you today. There's a lot of other movements that we could go over, but I wanted to make this basic and fast and simple for those of you that are just trying to get started and figuring out how to do some of the most basic movements with your Bowflex. I know it comes with a book, but that book's like 100 and something pages, and a lot of those exercises you're never gonna use, so the good ones end up just kind of getting buried and mixed in with the rest of them. So maybe this will help you sort of hone in on these few movements and get you started and getting some use out of your Bowflex. And of course, as I mentioned before, links in the description down below to all of the sort of accessories that I used here with my Bowflex. Highly recommended. They're all Amazon links, so you can feel safe about ordering from there. If this video was helpful, please hit like on it, maybe even the subscribe. I got a bunch of other Bowflex videos. I'll put a thing up here somewhere so you can get to those easily. But like and subscribe, please. Helps me put out more content and help you get some more Bowflex business rolling. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video. Peace out.